Hi, good morning. My name is Meredith Feinberg, and I'm excited to be here to present to you my action research project titled The Impact of Incentivized Digital Noise Level Monitoring on Classroom Behavior in a Middle School Classroom. I conducted this research at the Cushman School with one of my 5 sections of Earth-Space Science, 6th graders. There were 19 students in the classroom. I chose this particular class because I don't want to call them unmanageable, but they were exceptionally challenging. They've all been in class together since they were very young. They're very good friends. So I needed to make a change. And so it seemed like a perfect place to do some research. So while I was designing my research, I turned to the literature and found that positive reinforcement strategies are evidence-based tools that improve classroom behavior when implemented with fidelity. Prior research has shown that classroom-wide incentive programs, there are a few specific programs, one's called PBIS, one is CW Fit, they can significantly reduce disruptive behaviors, increase on-task behaviors, and increase student motivation when the rewards are clear, attainable, and meaningful to them. Classroom-wide behavior systems like CW Fit lead to higher on-task behavior and fewer disruptions in a middle school setting, as found by Calderala and Wills. Students report greater motivation from rewards than from sanctions, especially when they feel respected and supported by their teachers. And finally, digital tools like ClassDojo and real-time noise monitors enhance classroom management by providing immediate feedback and boosting engagement. So drawing from this literature, I designed a low-tech, high-impact intervention called 10 under 10, a system where students earn 10 minutes of free time if they were able to trigger the noise level monitor fewer than 10 times during a class. The study took place over 8 weeks in, as I mentioned, in one of my 5 sections of Earth-Space Science. Class meets once a week for 45 minutes and twice a week for 90 minutes. So I did the research on the days when the class met for 90 minutes. I collected 3 different types of data. The first is on the number of times that the noise level monitor was triggered during class. The second was collected by observing students to see how many were off task. We measured that at 5-minute intervals for a period of 30 minutes during class. And then finally, I did a pre and post test of student perceptions regarding noise in the classroom and how it impacts their learning. So what did I find? Key findings. First of all, the noise level dropped and they were able to keep the noise level triggers under 10 for the entire duration of the study. So the first week we did baseline and the baseline counts were 19 and 18. And then after that first week, every time I collected data, it was under 10 times that they triggered it. Secondly, the off-task behavior slightly decreased. The average off-task student counts dropped from 2.5 during baseline to fewer than 1 post-intervention. And then finally, student perceptions improved. The pre and post test surveys showed increased agreement with statements like reducing classroom disruptions will help me learn better. That jumped from a 1.84 to a 2.95 average on a Likert scale. Overall, the intervention created a calmer classroom. Students felt invested in their behavior and learning outcomes. What's interesting is I've continued to use the system after the study, but I don't use it every day. So the students will ask to use it because they want their 10 minutes of free time. And sometimes I'll say yes, sometimes I'll say no. And they know that whether I'll use it or not depends kind of on their behavior in general. So now the incentive system has become an incentive in and of itself, if that makes sense. The study reinforced the power of combining structure, technology, and student choice. And by giving the students a clear shared goal and reward they valued, we fostered an environment of collective responsibility. I would like to add that the students kind of looked at this intervention as a game, so they were in it to win it. And they looked at it as they wanted me to win my research. They thought this was something that I was gonna get a prize for if it succeeded. So while I was very excited that they were excited, I'm not sure how that affected the outcome and change their behavior, if that makes sense. What was really great is I was able to accomplish this without any punitive measures, and also it didn't add any work for me. It takes 2 seconds to pull up the noise level monitor. You know, other than documenting the data, it took nothing away, and continuing to use it is wonderful. Looking ahead, I would like to expand this to other classrooms and I've shared it with my coworkers. Many people are using the classroomscreens.com noise level monitor. And in conclusion, my research shows that a small, well-designed intervention, especially those rooted in positive reinforcement, can have a big impact on student behavior and classroom culture. So thank you so much for taking the time to